President Worrell.
Thank you. I've actually prepared some comments that I am not only addressing my colleagues here at the dais, but I also do want to speak to the people of Carmel, the people that I represent. Because this resolution asks the council to endorse and support a tax referendum offered by the Carmel Clay School Board. I take that duty very seriously. Over the past month, I have met with our school administrators, talked with my colleagues on this council, and engaged in a very active conversation with my constituents on the issue of this referendum. And I have researched and questioned the current finances and the proposed referendum. I've engaged in an active dialogue with voters through my newsletter. Some of them are here. And I've engaged in an active dialogue with voters that has often been animated. But my goal was to listen to both sides of the question. So the bottom line to my colleagues here at the dais is this. Do we want to represent a city that has the #1 public school in the state and one of the very best in the nation? In order to keep that status as #1, I believe we have to be willing to invest, and I have to be willing to talk to the people that I represent and explain to them why. This is not a time to retreat. This is no time to put the futures of our youth at risk. We live in a competitive world. Our public school has a proven record of exceptional success. This is not about what might be, but about what we need to protect. And this is about a commitment to stay at the top. Now, having said that, I cannot ignore the fact that our votes in November, all of us who are going to vote in November, could potentially give our public school an 8-year guarantee of revenue based on a tax rate of 19 cents per $100 at current assessed valuation. I would point out that this council reviews and sets a tax rate each and every year, and that's based on circumstances. So again, I do not take that decision lightly, and I would like to publicly ask that the school board not spend more money than it needs and do as it did in the safety referendum and not spend the money if it's not needed. I trust that will happen. I see Dr. Beresford nodding his head. 8 years of guaranteed revenue is unique in our government taxation policy. A vote in 2023 commits the taxpayer to an extension of referendum taxes for 8 years through 2031. But the reality is that the assessed valuation historically is likely to increase, so the fixed rate of 19 cents will stay the same, but the dollars collected will increase as well. To that point, that is why I made the point about not spending the money if it's not needed. I want to be honest with the taxpayers. When I first ran for a seat on this council in 2015, I made a commitment to base my decisions on facts and data and then act accordingly. So when I first heard of this resolution, I was pretty sure that the community would support this request for additional funding for our school system. In 2017, as Councilor Nelson alluded to, it was a no-brainer. It was adopted 9,473 votes yes, 1,080 votes no. But the wording of the ballot question this time in 2023 is different, and it's creating some confusion and concerns for my constituents. So I want to address it here and hopefully allay any concerns from residents who have written to me who are on a fixed income. Specifically, the ballot question reads, and maybe you've not read it yet, you'll be standing in the voting booth, the property tax increase requested in this referendum was originally approved by the voters in 2017, and if extended, will increase the average property tax paid to the school corporation per year on a residence within the school corporation by 28.3%. And if extended, will increase the average property tax paid to the school corporation per year on a business property within the school corporation 28.3%. That frankly scared some of the people I represent. So I'm here to address it. The fact is, this referendum, and it may not be news to anyone here in the room, but I do believe it is news to some of the people who might be watching. This referendum as we all know, is a replacement or an extension of the 19 cents previously approved by the voters in 2017. The 2017 previous 19-cent referendum tax is expiring. We know that. The remaining rate would be 67 cents after the 19 cents was eliminated. State law, I'm told, requires the disclosure of increases that this new replacement referendum would impose. That calculated increased amount is 28.3% and is based on the 19 cent added back onto the pre-referendum rate. While this created a lot of concern and questions, what it means is actually very simple. The final rate returns the 19 cents and results in a total school rate equal to the current amount. I hope some of the people who have emailed me heard that. Now, the wording was unfortunately confusing. Can't help it. Our schools can't help it. That is just the way it has to be. The end result is that the 2023 referendum will result in exactly the same tax rate as exists today. So a better question would be, for me, whether the school administration is doing a good job of managing the school finances. A comparison of the Carmel rate with other county schools, school rates says to me, absolutely yes. We should have confidence in their management. The school rate, as I just said, is 86.3 cents for Carmel. Hamilton Heights is $1.04.6. Hamilton Southeastern, $1.18. Westfield, $1.23. Noblesville is $1.29. And we are chasing the number one position, maybe in the state for sure, but as one of the number ones in the nation. Now, while it should not go unnoticed that Carmel's rate is noticeably lower than its neighbors, part of that credit is the result of a great working relationship between the City of Carmel and the school corporation and the city, frankly, to create a strong economic base. I encourage any of you to call Roger McMichael, and he has great statistics. So the question remains, is this referendum a good investment for our city? Yes. Our schools remain our best economic development partner. Because of the high quality of our public schools, we are able to attract high-quality businesses and their employees. The reality is those businesses pay taxes, and our ratio, maybe you didn't know it, to business residential taxes is roughly 30%. Our neighbors is 8%. That is how we can keep your residential property taxes low. The second reason is the stability of home values that outstanding public schools contribute to a city. There's a direct relationship between property values and the quality of public schools. The third reason, my favorite, the opportunities that we offer to our children. A diploma from Carmel High School coming through the Carmel Clay School Corporation is a respected and valued credential, as many of us on this dais know all too well. So while our council does not have direct governance of our local school corporation, I believe we have a higher responsibility to our local citizens, businesses, and taxpayers who are being asked to pay for this increase. I hope no one has been offended by me asking questions and seeking answers. I did not mean any disrespect. I simply believe that there is an opportunity for us as local elected officials to show fiscal clarity and perhaps show good faith with the taxpayers, the people that I represent. No surprises here. Our public school is an essential partner in our economic, cultural, and social success. I moved here, and I believe most families choose Carmel because our schools are excellent. And so this is a time for leadership, and frankly, that's the purpose of this entire resolution. This is a time for action. This is a time for all citizens to support our schools, and by voting to extend the previous referendum and ensure that our children continue to receive the very best opportunity to thrive and succeed. I will vote yes, not only for this resolution, but for this referendum. I will continue to work with the school administration in a positive but fiscally responsible conversation moving forward. I am grateful for the partnership.